Hey guys, in this video, I'm just going to be giving you guys a little bit of personal information. You see, in case you don't understand this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my personal experience, or something of personal experience, with every episode of SpongeBob from the first season. Now, these date back to a long time ago, or at least most of them a long time ago. Since I've seen a lot of the episodes multiple times over the course of my life, this should be a pretty easy video to make, because, I actually have a lot of remembered experiences with these episodes. So, I don't want this intro to be too long, so let's just get straight to it. With the first episode of the whole show, of course. Back in 2016, I was looking up something on YouTube. It was the first. And for some reason, I don't remember what I was trying to look up, but for some reason, the first thing that was there was the first episode of SpongeBob. I don't understand why people were looking this up at the time, but I went along with it because I didn't know which one was the first. I'm sure I'd already seen it, which I had already seen it. I later found out that I already saw it on TV multiple times, but I want to know which one was the first. But when I clicked on it, I saw the video was like 8 minutes, like 7-8 minutes, and I thought it was like not even the full thing. Because I remember for a long time ago, they had Drake and Josh episodes on YouTube, and it was like the whole thing, except the last minute was not there. Like when I'd watched it, the last minute wasn't there. Like for example, I saw the Treehouse episode, and the part where they run at the door, like the third and final time, wasn't there. Like as soon as Josh said "hit it," it just stopped. And I thought it was something like that for the video, but now that I know, Help Wanted really wasn't even a full 11-minute episode like I thought it was. And that was the full episode on there. So, that was funny to come to the discovery of. Back in 2016, I also started listening to SpongeBob background music, and at some point, I came across the episode Reef Blower and found a video on YouTube that showed, well, a picture of SpongeBob with the reef blower, but it played in the background the full episode soundtrack, which was only 2 songs, but the 2 songs were in their entirety, just how they were played in the episode. And I used to listen to it, like, a lot, and it just sounded so nice. Especially because the 2 songs used in the episode are originally made for the show. Yeah, for some reason they haven't been heard since season 3, I don't know why. If you want to listen to it, then check out the description. I'll put a link to the very same video right there. If it's still up, that is. Okay, this one, now we're going to my childhood. When I was a kid, I used to give myself a little challenge. Once SpongeBob got to the tree dome, that's my dang words. Anyway, once he got to the tree dome, I was not allowed to breathe. Like, I wouldn't hold my breath out like this, because that's stupid. Puffing your cheeks out like that only makes you lose your breath earlier. I just go like I'm not exhaling, I'm not inhaling at all, I'm just doing that. It was so much easier for me as a kid, you know? But I would get to breathe, of course, once he got some water. Like, for a split second, I would be allowed to do inhaling and exhaling when he jumps into the bird bath, and when he's drinking the vase of water. And then I would be able to breathe normally at the end when he got water. I don't know, it's just a fun little game I used to do. I used to always win. I never once passed out, so I was pretty good at holding my breath. When I was younger, I used to just kind of do the technique that SpongeBob would do and pretend like I'm holding a bubble wand and blowing through it. Like doing what SpongeBob was doing. Oh, that was fun. I don't really have much to say about this one, but I have this one little memory where I used to have a Game Boy case that had SpongeBob and his ripped pants on the case. I don't remember where it went, but I just have a memory of looking at it. I don't even know how long ago this was. I just remember I was a child when this happened. Another fun experience. I used to sing along with SpongeBob and Patrick and pretend like I'm jumping around with them. when they started doing the da 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 dun, 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 like that part. That's something I like to do when we're watching the episode. Okay, this is where the cringe starts happening. For some reason, when I was younger, during the part where Plankton is roasting Squidward through SpongeBob's mouth, I could not understand anything he was saying after Squidward goes, mediocre. Just before SpongeBob tries to figure out what was going on in his head, Plankton says something else, and I couldn't understand a single word he was saying. Like, I don't know why, I just couldn't comprehend his words. So my mind, when recollecting the episode when I was a kid, would make up that he was saying like something like, shut your mouthy. Even though he already said shut your mouth the first time. Oh man, just thinking about it is cringing me right now. But that was a personal experience, so yeah. Next one. I don't know where this went, but I used to have a DVD that had this episode on it. And for some reason, whenever we got to the part where Patrick is about to perform CPR on Squidward, don't mind the light. It just froze. I don't know why the DVD just froze, but it always kept happening at that point, and I always had to fast forward and stop it after the fork came out. Weird. I don't know whatever happened to the DVD, but yeah. That was my experience. I don't know which one I should mention for this one, but I guess the part where SpongeBob was eating the grass, I used to move alongside with him. But also, it really looked like to me that he passed the finish line, but that was after childhood. Like when he went to I swear, when he turned right and left, I could have sworn he was already on the other side of the finish line, but I guess I was wrong. I don't know, but it just looks like to me that he did. Yeah, I don't even like this episode that much. I don't want to keep talking about it. Next. For some reason, my favorite part of this episode was the ending. All my aching tentacles. And when I was a kid, I immediately noticed that they cut that out, and I was a bit upset. Unfortunately, I can't remember when this happened, like what exact day this was. Does anybody know when they cut that scene? Because I'm pretty sure that was the very first rerun where they cut it. So, I don't know. I'm just curious to see how long ago this was. Does anyone know when that ending part of pizza delivery was cut? Let me know. I remember back in 2013 watching this episode, and that Nick Studio 10 thing interrupted it. But that's not too special because that's one of the few interruptions that were uploaded onto YouTube, so it's not like I have any lost media of it in my head. Yeah, does anyone remember Nick Studio 10? If you do, I'm sorry. If you don't, no need to look it up. I don't think you're gonna like it. I remember when the sailor would show up, and I would give a thumbs up alongside him. It was nice. Too bad that guy died in 2015. Rest in peace, Don Newhouse. Oh, this one is very personal. So, when I first saw this show, it was on a VHS tape called the Sea Stories VHS. It had 5 episodes that were also in the DVD version, but I didn't have the DVD. And Pickles was the 5th one, the 5th and final one on that VHS. I still remember seeing it all the way back to, I still don't know when. I wish I knew the exact date. But I remember seeing all 5 of them on the same night. And I liked it so much I didn't want the VHS to end. But unfortunately, that was the last episode. Like, right when that episode was on, I was really thinking, I remember thinking to myself that I don't want this to end. Because I was loving the show that much. And unfortunately, that was the last one on there. But man, that just shows you how much I love this show. When SpongeBob was patrolling, like being a traffic cop, I would try imitating alongside him, like do exactly what he was doing. Oh, that was so cute. Then I grew up and started hating the episode. If you want to hear me dislike the episode, I'll put a link in the description of the exact point in a video where I talked about it. The exact point where I talked about Home Otter. If I remember to put it in this video. This video is going to be really long. So, yeah. Now this is an episode I'm glad I have good memories of. I used to dance alongside SpongeBob and the jellyfish. And would imitate the music in the second song too. It was so nice. Felt like I was SpongeBob there enjoying the song. Like a real party animal that I was. I always look forward to that episode coming on. Oh, I remember when I was a kid, and I would, okay, a lot of these are gonna be like these types of, yeah, in case you couldn't tell by now that a lot of these are gonna be like these types of experiences, but anyway, when I was a kid, I used to pretend like I was in zero gravity alongside SpongeBob and Patrick. Well, no, like, it's kind of hard to pretend that when you're, you know, having gravity, but it was fun. Like, Uh, I'm gonna get down, or up, or something. Oh, that was so fun. Hey, who turned the heavy back on? It must be landing. Great. I know this one is kind of weird, but I used to pretend like I was SpongeBob with the boots. Get the greatest fry cook do this, and then I tried doing all the things he's doing, which is, not really possible, just like all the other things, but it was still fun to imagine it while I was trying. If you're getting sick of me telling you these types of experiences, well, I promise you I don't have all of them be like this, but that's alright. It's alright, I guess. I'll be liking this. I remember when Squidward said, I'll give him 11 minutes. And I think that might have been the first time I ever heard him say that, because I actually got that. 11 minutes. Unfortunately, I don't really have much to say about Nature Pants. But yeah, I remember liking that joke. That was pretty cool. When I saw this episode, I thought that Opposite Day, for a long time actually, was something that SpongeBob created. I had no idea that Opposite Day was a thing that just existed for a long time. I don't know where it came from, but I know it's not from SpongeBob. But I did not know that until long after my childhood. Just like always, I would try and imitate Squidward's dancing act. I actually really liked it. I don't know why people didn't like it, like the audience in the episode. But they were okay with Pearl making them jump up in the air like that. I mean, they were pretty upset. But they weren't throwing tomatoes or anything or causing a riot. You know what I mean? But yeah, I tried. It's kind of hard with only 4 limbs. This one isn't exactly of me, but I was there. During a rerun of this episode, me and my brother were watching the part with the fun song, and right when Plankton gets interrupted when he's trying to say his part of the song, like his version, it is for no survivors when you... My brother decided to finish it off for him. And believe it or not, he said eat poop. And I didn't know at the time, like I thought that's disgusting and that would make sense. He was like, but I also found it weird. I was like, what? He was like, well, yeah, you're gonna eat poop. You're not gonna survive. He's 4 years older than me. But now I know that you can eat poop and not die. But still, like, from what I've heard, obviously, I've never done it. I've never eaten poop. I can promise you that. But from what I've heard, yeah, you can actually survive that. I don't know how my brother thought that. We must have been really young, but again, he's 4 years older than me, so I don't know how he could have made that mistake unless this was a really long time ago. I did say something personal, so yeah. Next one. I remember at the end of this episode where SpongeBob is doing the remote thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I always thought it was funny because that's like a workout to him. But then I tried doing something similar without a remote, and it honestly is much harder than you think. Actually, it kind of hurts. I can totally understand why his arm fell off. I remember I tried imitating it once, and yeah, it did start to hurt real quickly. And then I even pretended like my arm fell off too, and I was like, "Can you get that?" So yeah. Just like all my other imitations, I would try imitating that little game split on Patrick did at the beginning. However way I can. It's kind of hard to do that without the equipment, but you know, imagination. Next. I'm sure I'm not alone with this one. I tried doing the sponge. I would actually bounce on my groin area, but I would like pretend like I'm bouncing. Like I'll kind of jump in a way where it's while I'm matching it because I didn't want to. Of course, I'm not gonna try and hurt my groin area, you know, or my bottom. It's much tougher than you think. Even though I never actually tried, but I did try like doing that while the Sponge song was on. Sponge, sponge, everyone's doing the sponge. Alright, next one. I remember I used to always be upset this episode. Mainly because of the fact that, you know, no one won in the end. I always wanted it to be a win, but it was just a tie. So no one won. It always disappointed me when I was younger. Okay, this was a funny one. I imagined a scene when I was younger where Patrick comes back at the end after SpongeBob says, "Don't worry, it grows back." And he's like, comes back, he's like, "Really?" I used to imagine that. It was kind of funny. Like, you just come back. Really? Oh, I hope somebody makes something like that online for me. That'd be great. Where they just take the footage of Patrick running, but it just runs in reverse, and then it gets back to the part where he says, "Oh," except they cut out the part of him saying, "Oh," and replace him with him saying, "Really?" I would really like it if somebody did that for me. This one's a bit of a spooky one. I remember the ending, and I enjoyed that part. That wasn't as creepy to me as you'd think it would be. But what really got me was the scene where Squidward and SpongeBob, when SpongeBob went to Squidward's house and his head is peeking through the window. That point of view of SpongeBob as the snail going meow. Oh my goodness, that part always got me. Like, oh my goodness, it always just scared me looking at it. Oh, just thinking about it now messes with me. Oh.
SB-129.
This one's more recent, not really childhood. When I was in high school, I think there was like one of the students running for like some type of thing. No one in my school, I can't remember what exactly it was for, but one of them used, I believe they had Chrome in their name, so they used the picture of Squidward going, "Future," from this very episode to make a poster promoting to like vote for her or something. Or is it a he? I can't remember. Because everything was Chrome. Just like something with their name. I know that seems to be a little bit more personal, but not related to me, but I experienced that, and I really liked the reference. Because I'm a big SpongeBob fan, so it's personal to me as well. I didn't care about what was going on, so I didn't vote for anyone, but if I had to, I would have picked that person, just for that poster. Maybe I shouldn't be so sheepish about it. But it wasn't anything serious, that serious, so... hmm. If that person is watching this right now, sorry for using by your name. Anyway, moving on. This is more of a misunderstanding. During the part where SpongeBob is watching the TV, this is more of a misunderstanding. During the part where SpongeBob is watching the TV, I remember there was this one part where the fish, and the fish was talking and stuff. Well, during the part where the fish said, hoist this stuff, I thought it was a guy talking behind the screen, behind the camera, talking about the fish, saying, hoist this fish stuff. I didn't realize that fish was like a stand-up comedian talking about eating something else. That's because for some reason my mind could not comprehend the first part of what he said. So I thought that... just a little misunderstanding. I got a few others too that you might hear about from me. Oh, I love this one. I remember when I used to try and pretend like I was falling alongside SpongeBob and Sandy. That was fun. But it seems kinda dangerous. Not unless you got a good old parachute. Okay. Not a parachute, SpongeBob. Parachute. Okay. Not a parakeet. Medic. Oh, that was funny. Another thing is, I didn't hear her say medic. When she fell, like, I heard her say something, but I didn't realize she said medic. So, when looking back at it while older and hear her say medic, it made it even better because para-medic, it's part of the joke. So now I'm able to comprehend the joke, it makes it seem even better for me. Great. Another misunderstanding. So, when I saw that part of the episode where Patrick put the giant band-aid on SpongeBob's face, yeah, I thought it was his face. Apparently it was his back. Legit, I thought he put it on his face, and ripped his face off, put it back, ripped it off, like just kept ripping it off. I didn't realize it was his back. Until recently, I didn't know that. So, I hope anybody out there who didn't realize that gets a better kick out of it now. Just picturing it being his face and ripping it off and then putting it back on, like, come on. It's funny talking about this one. Another school-related one. I remember when I was in school, during middle school, and it was around Valentine's Day, and I got my teacher to play this episode off of YouTube, and I just kept laughing at the part where SpongeBob had Patrick fall off the cliff. Oh, wasn't there either? Are you sure? Oh. Oh. That was just funny. It seemed a little weird though because the episode looked like it was going a little faster to avoid copyrights. But this was back before the play button was added. No, not the play button. The playback speed button. Or was it? I don't know. I discovered it after this happened, so I kind of wish that we were able to just set it to the better settings, so that way we could watch the episode more normally. But it was still pretty funny. Another imitation. I would imitate SpongeBob, you know, using the paper, the fly and stuff, and be able to play music without even having a paper of my own in my hands. Imagination, am I right? Imagination. Another misunderstanding one. So, when Mr. Krabs got the little one, the little treasure chest, I thought the voice said, "Lucky, not plastic." That makes more sense. No, that's plastic. Sometimes you just don't hear things correctly. I think like a lot of people, I used to do the whole thing every time I re-imitated the episode. I mean, it was just fun. Oh, I'm sorry, you probably don't understand my accent. I used to go like this whenever imitating the episode. This one is more of a beautiful one. I really loved the live action scenes in SpongeBob, especially the ones that showed a nice, like, beautiful scenery from the part of the episode that had the song. I don't know why, I just really liked seeing the wide open skies and the barbecue and pecan pies and the lighting of the grass. Everything just looked nice. And I'm not just saying this because I wanted to reference part of the song. I actually meant it. For some reason though, that feeling isn't the same as it was when I was a kid. But that was such a wonderful experience to feel whenever rewatching it in reruns. Oh, okay. Enough of the sense of wonder. Time to get a sense of frustration. I hated when those two stole SpongeBob's ice cream. And I was really glad that Plankton helped SpongeBob get it back from the eel. Even though it doesn't make sense to me. Like, did he see it happen? No, he did. But then how did he get ice cream first? But I didn't notice those little nitpicks, you know, like, how did he get those two ice cream cones of his own first? Like, he didn't have them, and then all of a sudden SpongeBob's already at the ice cream area before Plankton, and yet Plankton somehow got those two. Did he, wait a minute, did he steal those two from that fish that cut in front of SpongeBob first? The first one? Huh, I never even noticed that. But, so that would mean that SpongeBob got all, like, the ice creams from both guys. Huh. That makes childhood me feel happy. Yeah, because I was happy about him getting it back from the eel. And now he got it back from both of them, I think. I'm just going to assume that that's true. another misunderstanding. That part that SpongeBob said at the end, what would we do without Squidward? I really thought he said, what would we do without Squidward? Like, or something like what I thought he said made me think that he meant like, what are they gonna plan on doing now that Squidward was gone? Like, now Squidward just left, I thought he was like asking them, what should we do now? I didn't realize he was saying, like, what would their lives be like if Squidward wasn't in their lives? Huh. And now that I know what he really said and know what he really meant, makes the episode feel more heartwarming. Yeah, people don't like this episode. Why don't you like this episode? Once again, another misunderstanding. When King Neptune called Patrick the round one, oh yes, the round one, I didn't understand him. I was like, but not round, he's a star. Hence starfish. He's a star. For some reason, my mind could not comprehend the fact that he was fat. Childhood, am I right? My goodness. This was also on the Sea Stories VHS tape. In case you guys that did not skip what I said about pickles, didn't have the VHS tape, Hooky was also on there. Oh, man. And I'm so glad that Hooky was on there too, because this is my favorite episode. Well, 11-minute episode. This one was seriously done the best. But I'm not here to be opinionative, I'm here to be personal. I remember seeing this episode, of course, and I still have clear memory from way back on that night when I first saw SpongeBob next to that VHS tape. Like I said before, I saw all 5 episodes on that very night. Hooky was the 3rd one, by the way. Yeah. That was so good of an episode to start with. And ending off the season is, once again, and last time for this video, a misunderstanding. Now, when the dirty bubble, just before he popped, said something about a point, for some reason when I was younger, I thought he said, what's the point now? Which kind of confused me. Because I'm like, what does that mean? Does that make sense? But then rewatching it now, I was like, oh no, he said, watch the point now. Not, what's the point now? Crazy how one word can change a whole sentence, am I right? Thank you so much for sticking around for this entire video. If you guys want me to do season 2, I'd be glad to do so. I can go all the way up until season 9. Or, maybe. We'll see when I get there. It's kind of hard to make this when the recent seasons aren't really part of my childhood, you know, so it's hard to have a personal experience like I had given about most of these episodes. But I could try. But we're going in order, you know, wait till we get there if you guys want to see more of this stuff, that is, even. I better go get those links that I promised. Well, I'll get you next time.